Welcome to Genius Dreams Education channel. Today we are going to continue our lesson on Photoshop, and we are going to look at how we can design a simple flyer in Photoshop as our next lesson. So before you start, please subscribe to the channel to get weekly videos on Photoshop and website development. So the first thing we are going to do is to create our new working space. As usual, you hit on Ctrl N, then you set the resolution to 300, and I'm going to use the canvas size of 4x4. So this is our new working space. So what we are going to do is we are going to start to create our background, and I'm going to import in my images that I'm going to use to design the background. So I'm going to first drag and drop this image in our canvas or the working space. I'm going to transform it out to cover the space, and then I'll go in for my next image. So the next image I'm going to use is this image. I'm going to do same, transform it out, and after that I'm going to set the blending option to overlay. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go in for my next image. So I'm going to use this image too. So I'm going to drop it here. First, I'm going to rasterize this image, and then go to Windows and Properties to remove the background. Remove the background. So as you are waiting for the background to be removed, please subscribe to the channel to get weekly videos on Photoshop and website development. You remove, then we proceed. So now the background has been removed, and I'm going to position this image here. Press on Ctrl T, and I'm going to transform it in small and then position it here. Let me still transform it in small and leave it here for the meantime. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go in for the shape tools, and I'm going to draw a rectangle here. So for this rectangle, I'm going to choose a filling color of white, and then I'm going to press on enter. So I'm going to position it somewhere here like this. So the next thing I'll do is I'll go in for my other images too as well. So I'm going to bring this image here, and I'm going to rasterize it and then remove the background layer as we did for the first image. Go to Windows Properties and then remove the background layer. So the next thing is press Ctrl T and then transform this image out. I'm going to position it somewhere here, and I'm going to leave it like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to also draw another rectangle too. So I'm going for the rectangular too again, and I'm coming to draw a small rectangle here. For now, so this rectangle, I'm going to make the edges round, and leave it like this, and I'm going to change the filling color to something like this color. Actually, okay, let me use this color. You work on it. So let me decrease the opacity of that. So I'm going to set the opacity to somewhere about 50. So I think 50 is okay, 50% for the opacity. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give out all my text that I will use for this flyer. So for the text, you just go in for the text too. You click on where you want to give your text. Okay. Okay. So now we are done with the text part. So for the text, as usual, you go in for the text to you right click, you click on where you want to give the text, and then you start typing. After that, you press on enter for the text. So now we are going to look at how we can provide a styling aspect of this surface or the text. How we are going to choose some stars, color, font family, and font size, and other design. So I'm going to first start with the top one. Don't forget I've grouped all my tests and I've made a video on how to group layers. So this is one layer as it is here, the hello layer. This one too is another group, this one too is another group, this one too is another group, and so on, just to make editing or applying of styling to be simple. So I'm going to take the first group layer to and provide the styling aspect. So for this one, I'll go in for the tools or the shape tools. I'm going to select the ellipse and I'm going to draw. First of all, let me close that. I'm going to select the layer next to this layer so that what I'm going to draw, this text will come on top of it. So after selecting it, I'm going to draw an ellipse here, and this ellipse I'm going to rasterize it. So after rasterizing it, I'm going to press Ctrl T, then I'll click on this icon, come to customs, and customs I'm going to choose the flag, and I'm going to provide some effects using the flag. So I think this one is cool for now. Then I'll press on enter, then press on Ctrl T, and I'm going to rotate it like this. So I think this one is okay for now. Then after rotating it, right click and click on distort. I'm going to adjust it like this. After that, you double click to deactivate it. So I'm going to group this ellipse with the text tool so that I can move both of them. You select both layers and you click on G to group them. So I'm going to name it as hello ellipse. So now I can move both the text. So I can move it to here, something here like this. So let me click on Ctrl T and then rotate it small. So this one is okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is let me select the ellipse again and change the filling color to see. I'm going to set the filling color of the ellipse to no color. Then set this one to this color and press on enter. Okay. So the next thing is I'm going to work on this image too. That's where we have the gen club. So I'm going to select that layer, and after selecting it, I'll go inside to select the text there. So I'm going to move this text here, and actually the text is too big, so I'll go and reduce the font size. But before that, let me increase the size of this image small. So I think now it's okay, and then position it here as usual, and then go and select my club again and decrease the font size to somewhere about 6, and then I'm going to move it here. Let me select my star image again and then move it down. So I'm going to move the Gen 2 on top of the star image. So now you can see how it looks like for now. So the next thing is I'm going to change the text color. So I'm going to choose a different color for the text. So I'm going to use this as the text color, and I'll do same for the club too. Let me move it to this side more and then change the text color to a color like this. So now I think this one is okay for now. Then press on OK. So I'm done with this part, and at the same time with this part too. So the next thing is to start the name of the club that's hosting or going on for this jogging or this body exercise activities. So I'm going to select that and provide a styling for that one too. So I'll go inside and then select the name of the club, and I'm going to choose a font family, change the font family. So I'm going to use this font family, that's the Acme variable concept font family for the name of the club. And the present too, I'm going to change the font family as well. So for the present, I'm going to use the Harrington font family, and I'm going to decrease the font size to 8, and then I'm going to increase the space in between the text to 200. So now I think this one is okay for now. Then let me position it somewhere here and leave it like this. So the next thing is I'll go and select the theme tool, that's the theme of the flyer, and provide the styling part for the theme. So after selecting the theme, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a font family as well as usual. So let me check the Rockwell and see the effect. So that's the Rockwell. So I'm going to use the Mirad Pro. No, the Mirad Pro is not all that. So I'm going to use the Broadway font family for that one. And I'm going to set the font size to somewhere about 18. Let me make it 24. So I'm going to set the font size to somewhere about 24, and I'm going to increase the height to 200%. And after that, I'll then position it here. So the next thing is I'll go and select the next layer, and I'm going to choose that the stay active. I'm going to set the font family same to the Broadway or the Broadway font family, and increase the font size to somewhere about 12. and I'm going to increase the spacing between the text to 75. So now I'm done with this, and the next thing we are going to do is to provide a styling for join our jogging club and take the first step towards a healthier lifestyle. So that's what is next. So you are going to select that layer and then go and choose a font family for each of them. So the first thing I'm going to select is the join our club, and I'm going to set the font family to the Acme variable concept, and I'm going to increase the font size to 12, and then do same for the rest of the text or the sentence within that group. So I'm going to set all of them the font family to the Acme variable concept and set the font size to 12 as usual. So I'll do same for the next text too. So now I'm done with providing the text, the font family and the font size. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just position them. So I'm going to just align them. You select the layer and you click on the move to adjust or position them. So now I think this one is cool for now. So you select the next layer too and do same for that. Then finally we select the last layer and do same. So now I can select the whole group and move it down a little bit. So I think this one is okay now. So the next thing is, or the last one is the last test, which is Unity is power. For that test, I'm going to select it and choose a font family. So for the font family, I'm going to use it here. So I'm going to leave it like this for now. So the next thing is I'll go and push this part to top small so that you get enough space down there. Let me group the text with the rectangle. Then go and select that rectangle layer. Press on G to group it with get fit rectangle. So get fit rectangle. Then move it. Then I'll select the jogging or the join layer 2 and move that one to, and lastly select this image. I'm going to move this with this image. So I'm going to choose that the Unity image, name it as Unity image, and then I'm going to position it somewhere here like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a small rectangle here to keep this text. So let me first come down here. So I'm going to provide that rectangle down here. So zoom it in because I want to make the edges round, and then press on enter. So I'm going to move the policies inside this rectangle. So you are going to select that layer and then move it, select the move to and move it inside the rectangle. So hold the Alt key and then zoom it out. Okay, so that's it. So the next thing is I'm still going for the rectangular too, and I'm going to draw some small rectangles here. This is not enough. So I'm going to choose the filling color for this rectangle as green. Then I'll press enter. Ctrl T. Then go and select it. Press enter. Now that's the rectangle. Hold the Alt key with the move to make a copy. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to import in my other images that I want to include in the course of the design. So let me position this image here. So here is okay for now. So let me go in and start importing my other images. Then going for the logos I'm going to use. So the logos I'm going to use, this is just to give information about where the social media platforms for the group or the club. So I'm going to first import this image to signify core. So rather, I'm going to use this image to provide or give out the number or the contact for the group or the club. If you want to contact the club, you can reach them through this number. I'm going to use this image to signify its contact and give out the number for that. So the next thing is I'll then proceed to give other images for other social media platforms that the club can be reached through those platforms. Okay, so this is another image. Transform it in as usual, and we are going to position it on the contact layers. press enter, and then going for the next image. So I will do same for all the rest of the images. Okay, so now I'm done with importing those images. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to group. Okay, actually, next thing I'm going to do is to give out how to reach the club through those social media platforms. So this is the contact for the club, that's the first. And the next thing is if you are on, let's say, social media platform like Twitter, you just have to reach them through Genius Club, that's at Genius Club. So when you search for Genius Club, you can get the link to reach this club. If you're on Telegram to the same thing. So I'm just going to make a copy for this. Make this that same copy on Facebook to the same thing. You can reach them as Genius Club. If you're on TikTok too, you can just search for them as Genius Club. So on WhatsApp too, so for WhatsApp, I'm going to provide the number, that's the WhatsApp number for the club. So just go in for the test to right click against the WhatsApp image and you just give out the number. So that is the WhatsApp number. The next thing is I'm going to select it and move it or position it just to align it with the text or the images. So let me align this one too well. Okay, so now actually we are done with this part for now. And the policies to this, that rectangle, I'm going to select it and move it little bit up. as it is entering the other one. I'm going to position it here, and I think that place will be cool. And go and select the policy and move it inside. Okay, that's it. So actually we're done with all the testing aspects. So the next thing is I'm going for my last image. This is the last image I'm going to use. I'm going to rasterize it, and then let me drag it to the after the background. Go to Windows and then Properties to remove the background layer. So I'm going to press on Ctrl T, right click and then flip it 90 degrees or horizontal, and I'm going to position it here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to blend this with the background, and I'm going to set it to the luminosity, and after that I'm going to decrease the opacity to somewhere about 40%. So 40% is too much. Let me make it 20. 22 is too much. Let me make it 10. So now 10 is okay for now. So I'm going to leave it like this. So the next thing we are going to do is to provide some color effect. Actually, one of the designing is mixing. Unfortunately, maybe deleted it. So let's just give it out. That was it. Was having the first unity. Unity is power. And then let's select the font size 88 with the font family, the admin variable concept, and do same for the Unity 2. Font family. And then I'm going to group it. So you select those two layers and click on group, and I'm going to name it as Unity. So after that, I'm going to move it out of this group, the groups. Okay. So then let me try and position this one too well. And then select that layer and move it up. After that, going for the image that was under that layer, which is this image, and bring it here, rasterize, and then remove the background layer. So go to Windows, rasterize, go to Windows properties, then remove the background layer. So press Ctrl T, and we are going to transform it in okay. So that's it. The next thing is with the color effect. So I'm going to select this image to provide to give out our first color. First of all, let me select the layer I want to use this image as the color effect. So that's this part. So I'm going to select that layer and then go in and drag my image to that part. So I'll then go and right click and then click on create clipping mask to get this color or this text out of it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to blend this image. So I'm going to choose the linear mode blending option for this image. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to still select it and I'm going to click here, and actually I'm going to add small drop shadow to it. Okay, so this is okay for now. So the next thing is I'll also add some texture to it. This is okay. Actually, this is it. And I'm going to select, so I'm going to select all these things and then transform it out small. So this text and plus this one. So actually the group, okay, so then let me transform this one small and then position it here. So after that, I'm then going to select this layer 2 and move it down small. So first of all, let me check the unity. So select, click on unity with this image and group it, name it as unity image, and then move it somewhere here. And after that, select the join and move that one to down. So for this join, I'm going to click on Ctrl T. So I'm going to image it, right click, then merge group. And after imaging it, I'll press on Ctrl T, then right click and distort it. So actually, that's how our flyer look like for now. So the next thing is I'm going to provide a general effect for this. So I'm going to select all the layers and provide a general effect for it. So that's all the design, and I'm going to click this part, and I'm going to add some curves to it. Okay, so this is okay, or this one is cool for now. Then let me go and add some hue and saturation. I'm going to adjust. So I think this one is cool for now. Then let me adjust this one to that's the saturation, and work on the lightness more. So then the next thing is I'm going to add some little brightness to it. You click on this icon as usual, then you click on brightness and contrast. So let's adjust the brightness to see the effect. So I'm going to maintain this one. Then let me work on the contrast too. Okay, so actually this is the final outlook of our flyer. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel to get weekly videos on Photoshop and website development. Goodbye.